understanding the mechanics of it. And so these things, understanding alignment and understanding how to approach another person's body is kind of the same thing. So in general, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the body in the pose, establish what is happening. So let's work with a volunteer. We're going to start with Trikonasana. Does anybody want to be adjusted in Trikonasana? Who's like, I love Trikonasana. What is your name?
Claudia.
Claudia. Okay. There's no rush. I just started to talk and.
You might want to take pictures, and then maybe whoever takes good pictures can upload them.
Gotta warm up till my adjusting. All right, I'm ready.
What's that sequence?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so as I move into somebody's body, I'm already looking to see how their position is. And what I might do for her is I'll invite her to be a little bit more inwardly rotated, but that's also like a specific school of yoga. It doesn't necessarily. So the first thing I'm noticing in her, is there anything like when you look at her body, what are you noticing that you feel like just standing? Just don't have to be perfect, isn't something to like, figure out. Do you have your arms out? Arms out on your T? I'm kind of looking at where her energy is falling. So I feel like it's a little bit falling to the front of the hip. I also feel like there's a little bit of length that needs to happen. So I'm just going to remind her of that by placing my hand, or I'll place my hand down, right? And I know that I'll also leverage, she's very outwardly rotated, so she doesn't really need this so much, but I'm still with my leg, I'm inviting her leg to rotate and also anchor down. So I place my hip like this. How does that feel? And then so with every pose, you're creating traction, right? So I'm placing here and I'm pulling her up here. Extend, extend, extend out. Place her left hand onto left shin and reach the right arm up. So she's really good. She doesn't need much adjustment to get that openness in the left and right, but she's leaning into me, so I'm wondering why.
I don't know. Yeah.
So, no. Like, go back to that. She's leaning into me. So I would say, is her ribs closed? And I feel she needs anchored down in this back leg. So a lot of what I'm doing is giving her a reminder, a physical reminder of where she needs to ground down in order to lengthen. Okay, so I'm holding this leg down, and I would even say pull up here a little bit. Good. Inhale, come up to stand. Another way of moving her into it is bring your arms up. Hold on. There you go. I'm pointing and I'm really assessing her first. And then I sometimes will put my hand, reach out, lengthen on the left side, and then place the left hand onto the left shin and come up. So in that adjustment, what I'm doing is giving her a direction. Soften your mind. There you go. So another thing that just happened was she was extending so much that she was moving away from her center. She was like this, which pulls her away from center, and it softened, which helped her to engage her arm into her shoulder blade. This is very subtle stuff. So how does she look energetically now? Do you feel like, you can see where things are moving? You can come up and relax for a moment. Why don't you change sides?
So Miriam, I'm actually having trouble finding when you're saying energetically. Like when
Okay.
we said where's her energy falling?
Okay, that's
I'm
not
just having trouble like physically identifying things. It's something that I'm working on.
Okay.
So
in triangle pose, for the most part, Actually, you're gonna see this exact same phenomena in extended angle, where you want to avoid the spine going into a candy cane. You want to anchor down and for the most part, extend out, and from the tailbone out, it's a straight line. So you wanna, I would say, lengthen from the right side of the body. And then for me, I can see I'm like hanging out in my right hip a little bit. So I would say left hip needs to come open because I'm not as outwardly rotated. So you want equality. So I'm looking for an equal energy moving through her left and right side of her body. It's practice. And you know what's easier is you can feel it in your own. Just start to look in your own practice, like, am I falling into my left hip? Is there more weight on my right leg than my left? It should be equal. Because the main job is drawing your right and left channels into the center. So everything is about coming into the middle. Okay, so one more time, come into your beginning position. She looks really nice there. I would say, I would maybe tell her to lift up. Good. Nice, and then go into your position. Lift out more, to extend, and then place the right hand down. That looks nice. That looks nice. Draw the right. Good. You come up. So come to right leg parallel to the left. Both toes relax for a moment. I wanted to talk about the shoulder rotation. So I'm sure you did this with Roseanne. One of the things that happens is the position of the hands are always like a question mark. Like, where do I go? Like, is it down? Is it open? Do I rotate? So for the most part, you want to be engaging your latissimus dorsi, your lat muscles, right? Which is drawing the shoulder down and lifting up. The more that your shoulder is lifting up, you're using the top of your, I forget what it is kind of called? Traps. The traps, and it constricts the movement of your neck. So everybody come to stand up. And just draw the shoulder blade down the back. And feel that the shoulder blade is really moving down the back. And then open up the thumb outwardly. This is the energy you want, and the shoulder is down, right? So when we're going to feel that in an extended angle. It allows movement of the neck. If my shoulder is up, I'm extending this way. I don't have as much movement in the neck. So you want shoulder down, extend the arm, there.
It feels hard to like get your arms straight when you do that. It's like I start coming.
It's partially because we don't have, where most of us are not, those muscles are weak in us. Like I know if I try to do pull-ups, I'm always doing it from here. It's really hard for me to get that muscle, and it's just practice. Yeah.
The answer to everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would like, let's go on to the next pose. Let's go into extended angle. Because we're kind of, it's the same thing. Let's change to give someone else a chance to feel. Leah, you want to go? You have your hand up before? Whichever way you want to start. So extended angle, right leg out, left leg in. Good. Okay, start again. So already she's in the John Travolta pose, which is what I call the musician, where she's going like this. It's, like stand on, so when you're in this position, you want this the same as in, you'll see a lot of people doing warrior two this way, and you want it more like the Mr. Clean. That's what I was
Got
saying. Mr. Clean, not stayed alive. So from here, you know, you do extend out, but this is the beginning posture. You're gonna place, because you don't want to dislocate your ribs ever, almost. So go ahead, I apologize, go ahead and get your block. Good, nice. Yeah. And then place the, okay, that's a good way to do it, that's fun. All right, she's gonna do the left. Awesome. So in this pose, what do you want with the right leg? Where does the right leg want and to be going?
Tracking against your middle toes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a outward rotation of the right leg. And so in a way, I would do the same thing as triangle I could do for her, is I draw this right leg back. Here, how does that feel?
It feels different, definitely more outward.
And then I'm pulling on the top of her, it almost feels like the skin of her left hip is going up. How does that feel?
Yeah, iliac crest, you got a real
Yeah.
handle there.
And then there's something happening here.
Yeah, there's a crunch there.
All right, that's a basic. It's really the same thing.
Yeah, so you're opening up.
Yeah,
So
I'm
the
helping.
thighs are in the external.
Come up to stand just to rest for a moment. You can do the other side. I'm gonna give you another one that actually, and you tell me how this feels on your body. Go ahead, back in. You can do the other side just to keep it balanced. The other thing go ahead. Nice, this side feels good. Her left side learned from her right side. That happens. It's really interesting, I see that. So I'm just gonna give her some traction with the right leg. I'm gonna placement, I'm just gonna, how does that feel?
Yeah, that assist feels almost more, yeah, there's more space there.
So what I'm doing is I'm pulling, giving her space in her hips. I'm clamping, using my thighs, and I'm pulling down. And if I wanted to, I could do that.
Yeah,
And
there's more space.
there's like, so I'm really pulling the leg back. Okay, come up. I think that this one is something you want to just try. You're looking like you might want to try it. So come here.
I'm intrigued by it.
I'm gonna do this for you, and then I think we'll do one more pose, and you guys can experiment, just because it might help to feel what I'm doing for her.
Do you want to have her try to do her hand behind the leg?
Yeah. So a left arm on the outside of the left foot. Extended angle A. Let's get a block.
Yeah.
And this is important. So I'm gonna swoop her arm down so that shoulder is back. You feel that?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Look at there you are. There's a lot going on. Nice pose. There you are. So what I was doing with her is I was giving her space by pulling this.
Oh, wow.
So you should feel. This is not, oh, you're here for the first time, let me straddle you. This is not a first time pose. No, really, it's like something like after you know somebody, you know how to.
Third date, remember?
Yeah.
Know their name?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. They came to your class. and you actually
They felt very open.
Yeah, it's really nice. I actually don't do that all, because it is that. It's a third date one. The other assist is a little bit more imbalanced because it's such a wide pose. When I'm only on one leg, it's harder for, this is the one that really needs to anchor down. And sometimes I'll just put, do you mind doing the other side and I can? Sometimes, and I'll do this in Warrior 2 a lot, I don't know if you got this, is I'll just put my foot on the outside of their foot. as a way to anchor. So they're not, because in this, you're pouring your weight into the right leg. Okay, I want you to extend more from the right side of the back. Yeah, nice. Bring your left arm towards me and swoop it all the way down so the shoulder is down. Yeah, and then back up, shoulder. Yeah. Why is it behind your head? Okay. I think this block is too low for you. Yeah, put your forearm on your shin. There, that's better. Yeah. And then belly in. Ribcage connected. So what I did was I just anchored her. You know, I could almost do that and it might help.
Are you pulling?
Yeah, I'm pulling. I'm really pulling your
On
leg
the
down.
ground.
Place your left hand onto the ground. Left hand on the ground. Right arm framing. Yeah, and then just bring your back leg in a bit. So let's go on to the next, because it's basically the same thing. The next pose I wanted to do, which I'm improvising, but we'll just do it, is, what is this called? Okay, so, what?
They call it intense sliding.
Intense side stretch.
Stretch.
Oh, okay, yeah. Parvottanasana. So come into that position. So this one's a nice one. There are like two different, do you want to switch? Does anybody else want to come and feel?
I'll try.
Oh yeah, because it's a very similar, and I'll do it with you next. It's a very similar tracking, like positioning that I'm doing with her. So do you need to block? We'll bring them for the next person just in case. All right. Excuse me. All right. She gets into position. She's ready to go. Fold over. I would have the hands on the ground for now. Most simple. Yeah, so you don't need them so high. Place them where you need them. Okay. So there's a little bit of a twist in this position. So sometimes I will come around on the open side. I'll pull her right hip slightly back, and I'll just place my hand to fold her over. When I do this, I don't want to throw her to the right or left or forward. I want to really help her to stay grounded, which is all about energy into the back leg. So whenever anybody's folding forward, they need stabilization in this back leg. So I prefer to do it differently. Switch legs. Because I'm going to do the same where I use my leg to anchor her down, or I use my hands to anchor her down. So go ahead, forward. Nice. Give her a little bit of weight. I pull the left hand is into the left, and then really, how's that? Good. I feel like I could do a little bit better if I come up and down. Is that better?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So in real life, I ask people that. I ask how this is. Is this okay? With this, communicate, and then come up. I help them come up by anchoring them down in the hips. So, question: when you're doing side angle, extended angle A or B, when you're doing Parvottanasana or when you're doing triangle pose, which leg needs to be, or between the extended angle and Parvottanasana, which leg needs anchoring? Where do you need to support them the most? Yeah. Because the tendency is to move in the direction where your eyes are looking, or like where your body is folding. It's like, it makes sense. And you feel it in your own body that you tend to put the weight on the forward leg. So that helps. So let's have another person, and we're going to do warrior 1. And let's do warrior 2. This is a lot already. And then you'll go.
Oh, you want to go?
No, you
can. 2 and 1?
2. Go. 2, 2, 2. Okay. So as you're looking can you guys maybe stand up a little bit and so you can look around, kind of walk around her? And that, because that's what you're doing. You're walking and you're looking. She looks pretty good. What about her arms? Yeah, she knows already. Here, that looks really nice. I always remind people here, what this does is engage the quadricep. Can you kind of loosen that a little bit? Yeah, that's fine. When I press down, the only thing is if she's hyperextended, this is something I would not force upon her. Hyperextension, because they'll be locking in the knees, right? I would just tell her to press down here. She looks really good. Here looks really nice. I would shoulders relax. She feels nice to me. I like it. I think if anything, it's a little bit here. And I do this for her. Just lift her up. Give her something. Because she feels strong in her legs, right? So she really just needs a lift in the coming here. Straighten the left knee. Good. And change sides. But I'm going to do the adjustment that is the most natural adjustment anyway, even though she kind of seems to be in this. If it was her, I would just give her the head.
Should I sing a little toward the front?
I think you're just fine the way you are. Just do you.
Okay.
Because I want you to feel it in your body. So bend the right knee. Because even if she's really in a position, it's still nice to give her support. That feels good, right?
Yeah, it gives me more of an idea of how, like, I'll if I'm a little towards the front. I don't know. It makes sense. You know?
It's also, yoga is not a place that you arrive at. It's a place that you're moving through, you know, and a place that you can try to find a way of being in a position that is constantly moving. And that's like, you know, like.
Somebody taught me that phrase this morning.
Straight.
Jay?
Nice, good job. Where are you?
Oh,
you're right behind me.
Okay.
I want to do the same poses because it'll give us all a chance to kind of look and practice looking at the body. So go into Warrior 2, and I want you guys just to look at her posture and start to think, where could she use support, or, you know, that idea of equal energy moving in. We have left, right leg, right, left arm, and through the crown of her head, we have front and back planes. Which one?
Is left one?
Okay. I would say I would bring your toe in a little bit this way. It's more rotated than your leg. And then I would have her do the pull-up. A little bit, yeah. Right here. There, nice. That one, the tailbone, we felt helped a lot. Look over the right fingers. Bend more in the right leg. Feel like a starfish, not like a. So this is a movement for her that is a little challenging, right? Do you feel like she's not as wonka-doodly. Press out into the second toe. Good. Good. Straighten the right knee, let's do the other side. All right, before you start, bring your arms down. Okay, now start from that position. Good. Good. So this is something I do. That was a good one. That helped a lot. So come to stand. I think this is important. I also don't have a lot of rotation in my legs. So for me to get Warrior 2 down, I'm not that open. I'm just using that. It's like my hip points are not perfectly, you know, this is a question I'm not actually sure about. My hip points can't, if I go here, my knee goes there, and then I'm here, you know? So I actually let my hip move a little bit forward, so I can have the nice knee over a heel, knee in between big toe, but
She's talking about her pelvis, not exactly facing the side of the
yeah.
It's a little bit turned toward the front.
And that's the difference. When I adjusted your leg, you let your pelvis move a little bit towards the windows. And I thought that was a better position than being here, which maybe is, see, discover, so, I don't get to do this very often.
Well, it makes sense because we start from the ground up, right? So if the ankle and the knee are compromised, that's what we have to work on before we get to the hip. Right?
Do the same pose, side angles, and Trikonasana, like hips are not perfectly.
Exactly. You're not between two panes of glass. That
Right.
cue.
Oh, okay.
Get rid of that cue.
Did I say that?
No, you didn't say that.
I do.
I mean, it works sometimes, but
Yeah, it
it
does.
confuses people more, I think, than it helps.
Yeah. And let's just do forward straddle bend.
So which one?
Both.
Who knows the Sanskrit?
Oh, this one I did, is this,
Prasarita.
Prasarita Kosanasana.
Pado.
Padakonasana.
Ta.
I was hoping you would do an adjustment for this one, because I was adjusting people
Okay.
through 4 different versions.
All right, so we'll start with just place your hands on your hips, draw the elbows back, draw the belly button in, engage the legs, feel that your thighs are like hugging your femur bones. Good. And then inhale, draw the belly button in, exhale, fold over the legs. Place the hands underneath your shoulders first, and then walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. So go back into a little bit more of an extension. Yeah, so you go down there. Good. And then walk the hands back. Good. So sometimes, no, it's not the right. Sometimes I would have them, this is the wrong class, this is not what I'm doing right now. Hands on the
Sometimes I do those scooch my legs out a lot further.
yeah, no, that's fine.
I don't know if that's,
I mean, that's a lot further.
it's a lot further. No, so I don't know if alignment-wise that actually throws it way out.
Well, right now your feet are in two different, you want them in alignment, you want your toes facing. Yeah.
That was random.
All right, so go back into position. You can stay with this wide of a posture. Place the hands on the ground. Good. Begin to walk the hands underneath your legs. Great. So, yeah, she's looser in one hip than the other. Okay. So one very simple one is just giving her a little bit, I'm not pushing her down, I'm just extending her ribs. I'm taking my hand and I'm pulling down. How is that? Good. All right. Walk the hands back underneath your shoulders. Engage the belly. Place the hands on your hips. Draw the elbows together and then come up. Good. Soften the knees, jump the feet together. All right. Go back out again. So again, I'm going to use the leverage of the leg. And this one is a nice one, usually. I haven't gotten adjusted for a while, so I've been, go back into the position. Do you want to do interlaced hands? Yeah, why not? So interlaced hands. Draw the fist over the head. Now this is very specific. I'm internally rotating. I'm taking my leg, I'm going like this. I'm placing my hand on the toe. How is that? Breathe in. Good. Stay there.
Definitely
At your back.
into a position that I can't do on my own. It's really good.
All right. Release the hands, place them underneath your shoulders on the ground. I keep my hand here to keep it stable. Place the hands on your hips. Draw the elbows together and come up. It's really important that I stay connected to her. I want to do this on somebody else so they can feel it. Who feels like they can't imagine what that is like? I mean,
I feel like it looks like it would feel good.
it looks like
It feels like it would look good. It looks like it would feel good. I don't know.
Go ahead, try to position. Place hands on the ground. Walk the hands underneath you. How do you feel about this width? I think that's going into a different position. I think we need to bring you a little closer together. Because, I'm sorry to interrupt you, just come up for a second. The grip that I'm doing in the back is not, it's not on my butt at all. It's right above. And what I'm doing is I'm pinching here. Actually, you can do it for yourself. Place your hands on your heads and draw these like sides, I don't know what it's called. Just bring yeah, kind of bring these two things together.
It's the SI.
Is it? Alright, I have to check.
The ASIS?
Yeah. So bringing this together, it's exactly the engagement that you need when you're here. You don't want your sit bones fanning out. You actually want them coming together. I'm exaggerating, you can see like my weight is out and then it's in. So what I'm doing is helping to anchor you there so the energy is coming towards the point of the coccyx and coming up. If you're too flailed out, you miss that engagement. It just comes something else. So that's better position. Come back and choose forward, straddle bend. What is the name? Park.
Pravarita Padottanasana.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to do the more complicated one. Go ahead, walk the hands underneath you. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Walk hands back underneath your shoulders. Place the hands onto your hips. And come up to stand.
This leg feels lifted out.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know, actually, because I always do one leg, and that is like maybe I should do two. It's such when you're doing adjustments. Say, hey, can I try something out with you? How does it feel? It's so helpful. Let's do the other leg and interlace the hands, and then we will. I don't know what time it is. Can someone give me a time check?
10 to 12.
All right, perfect. And then we have some time to experiment. All right. Breathe in and exhale. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Release hands.
Whoa.
All right.
Shoulders.
Good.
Sometimes I have kind of pain in this pose, but it's like here, like inner muscles. What does it mean? Should I take a shoulder stand or?
Probably you're sitting into a certain part of the pose. So let's look. If you guys want to start experimenting, find a team, find a partner. And let me ask a question before, and I will, Mila, I will go into this in just one moment. I have a way of doing hands on whoever's taking my class, adjustments through the whole vinyasa. I know that you guys have learned certain things. Would it help you for me to do that with you, or would you like to just try stuff out? Yogi's choice. First. All right, cool. So I'm just going to do something with Mila. Let's go into so somebody else try to do this, and I will watch. Not me. Go ahead. I don't have all the answers. Walk hands a little bit further. Oh, back in between the legs. Good.
Would you maybe tell her to micro bend the knees for a sec and check
Go ahead, tell her.
the core? Can you micro bend in your knees a little bit and check that the core is there? Great.
Yeah, that's nice. I'd also tell her, just in terms of your direct question, don't exaggerate the inward rotation of the leg. So have your toe a little bit out. That might help to relieve some pressure on the inside of the leg.
Make sure outer thighs are engaged. Like
What is outer thighs?
the side of your
How
thigh.
would you help her do that?
Say it.
No.
Um, hmm,
I think outer legs pulling up here is a little bit here.
right.
Is that connection here?
Mhm.
And
So she's not sitting down, do you know what I mean? So this is like an anchor, so it's that feeling, Mila, of the sit bones pulling together. Yeah, engaging her mulabandha, basically. Yeah, so, come up. So what happens is,
we understand Mulabandha better.
yeah, exactly. That's good. What happens with feeling of like a tension in the inside of the thigh or even in the back, and especially if you're hyperextended, which I'm totally not, is usually that you're not pulling up from from the pelvic floor. So you're sitting into the posture and you're not having that kind of inner, I should practice talking about this, but there is like these spirals that happen in the body. Maybe we can do one day with the strap. You take the strap and like you can feel the way that the energy moves up the body. And by engaging the Mulabandha, it helps to engage the spiral force down into the ground. So what the core does, the core is a power transmitter. It helps, without engaging the core, you can't transfer energy from one place to the other. You know, if I'm like this and I push off, I'm not able to get the energy, like I can't, like when I'm a back baseball player, you know, and I don't use my core and I just use my legs, it's not going to transfer into the upper body. It's the core that moves energy from down to up or up to down or right to left, all of it. It's like the center of everything. So when you don't have the core engaged, it's always like a good place to start. When you're like, what's going on in this person's body? Start with like, engage, bring your belly button towards your spine. Just have them, giving them cues to help them do that.
Yeah, for me, when I bend my knees and this goes, it's a great way for me to check if I'm with my core.
Yeah,
I'm not like
exactly what
sinking
you were-
into the knees.
That's exactly what your cue
Yeah.
was, and I think that was really, and I'm not, I'm not sure exactly, Mila, what it is for you with the inner leg. You know, it could be.
The core. I felt the difference.
Okay, so
I
that's
typically
good.
feel that in here as well,
Yeah,
but I go wider and then we did shorter, I didn't feel that.
okay. Yeah. So the further away your arms and legs are from your body, the more you have to gather that core, and it's actually harder to communicate. It's like the more you extend away, the more I want to extend away, the more engaged I have to be. It's so much fun. The more you guys get to teach, you'll just be like, oh my God, it's mirroring each other. The whole philosophy is like exactly what I need to do in the body. Very cool. So I'm gonna do one Surya Namaskar with somebody. Just what I normally do. If there's something new to you, you can ask me and I can show you, but then we'll do this in pairs, okay? So who hasn't been with? You have not. Haven't manhandled you yet. Come, do you mind?
No.
All right.
Miriam handle.
Miriam handle.
Manhandle.
Yeah, right. So when you're ready, starting in Tadasana. Go ahead. you breathing? Can I hear you? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Actually, lower is better. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So what is I'm using that sit bone gathering by bringing my forearms together, and then I'm extending her lower back. It also allows me to tell her to lower ribs in. Yeah, nice. And then I can also tap on her thighs. Yeah. Coming down. Beautiful. Okay, okay. So this is a funny one. I'm not sure if, we'll come back to Tadasana. So you're gonna go through the whole, Uttanasana.
Okay.
Forward bend, lift up, stepping back, right leg forward, back, lift, the whole thing. So here, sit.
Does someone want to say these for her?
Yeah, that would be so helpful.
Utkatasana.
Talk her through it.
Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Oh, sorry, no, straight into the inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, right leg forward, Virabhadrasana 1.
Now you want warrior two?
Yeah, go ahead to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Exhale here. Inhale, extend out towards the windows. Place the right hand down, lift the left arm up. Inhale, come back to stand. Move the arms up into a T. Exhale, bend the right knee. Place the right hand on the right foot. Extended angle A. Lift arm. Reaching this way. So a lot of times I'll bring the arm all the way, soften a little bit so I can do it. All the way forward. Do you see the difference? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, no, not open. Here.
Internal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that again.
Sure. So a lot of times people come into it with the armpit this way. And it's hard for me to adjust, so I'll bring the arm all the way down so it's here.
Yeah.
And then she has nice room to go here. And for her, yeah, beautiful. Place the left hand on the inside of the right foot. Draw the back foot in about 1.5 feet. Extend the right leg, square off your pelvis. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, fold up. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bend the right knee. Step back into a plank position. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Breathe in. So you have it, you just go in. You know, it's important that you look to see what's happening. Nice. Relax a little bit here. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Balance. Good. Soften the knees, jump between the thumbs. Good. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, bend, come into Utkatasana. Exhale, come up to Tadasana. I'm giving you, go ahead, straighten your legs.
Oh, I see.
There you go. Nice. Come on.
Nice. That was very effective.
Good.
Yeah.
So it's great to practice as much as you can with one person, figuring out how to move. It's very much like a partner dance. I will do the other side with somebody else they want to try.
Who hasn't got assisted yet?
Everybody has, Mila, you're squirreling so cute. So we're gonna do the same thing. So, good. Start from, bend the knees, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, soften the knees, palms on the ground, step into plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Sorry. A little bit more space between your feet. Good. Rotate on the lower arms down, the upper arms out. Ribcage in. Good. So I'm going to do the same adjustment for her. Pull her hips away. I want you to soften the knees just a little bit actually for you. Soften the knees, yeah. Place the right foot in between the thumbs. Okay. Fold over the legs. Bend the knees. Lift up Utkatasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Good. We're going to do it with a warrior 1 going into warrior 2. So once more. Inhale. Lift up. Exhale. Fold over the legs. Inhale. Lift the chest. Look forward. Exhale. Soften the knees. Step into plank. I'm doing it wrong. Inhale and exhale. Exhale. Come into chaturanga. Inhale. Upward facing. Exhale. Downward facing. Bring the right leg forward, back heel down, right leg forward. So that sometimes nice is actually when you're doing it, help them so they know what's coming next. Inhale, lift the arms up. Hold here for a moment. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the right knee. Exhale, extend all the way out to the mirror. It's like playing guitar. Inhale, come up to stand. Exhale, soften your right knee. Place the right hand on the outside of the right foot. Forearms to that's fine. That's fine. So you see how she's coming over this way? It's the same thing. It's here. So this is down, and you have this. You have all this mobility in the neck when that happens. The other way is, Good. Mila, again, I think you need to soften a little bit in your knee. Yeah, just a little bit. Good. Wow. And the mudra. Beautiful. Place the left hand on the inside of the right leg. Place the right hand onto the block. Scoot your back leg in about 1.5 feet. Place both hands on your hips. Inhale, come up to stand. Lift up on the left arm, straight up to the sky. Place the left hand on the outside of the right foot. So this is how you win the hearts of everybody. Right arm up. Right arm up. This feels so good. Feel good? Yeah, because it's open. It's something you really have a hard time. So I'm anchoring my hand into her hip and I'm lifting up here. And then my right leg is engaging her left leg. Yeah, see? She loves me. Then I keep my right leg engaged without pulling over. Inhale, come up to stand. Good. Soften that right knee, bring the back leg to the front. Yeah, so I'll help you guys if you want to fool around with any of these, but experiment. This is, what I recommend is as you're going, check with them. Don't go too fast. Don't try to be sequencing it yet. Just say like, how is this? And then have that communication. And I'll walk around and advise. And you guys have access to me at the 3 jewels, right? You know, I'm there often, like every day. every day and night. I think about it every day and night, yeah. So we're gonna go through the, make sure you go through the different poses. So Trikonasana, extended angle, A, B, and then whatever, and forward straddle bend. Those are the ones that we wanna make sure that we lead today with some beginning. And then we'll experiment with moving into a sequencing. Find your partners, and if you have any questions, I'm here.
Which parts do you want to play? To begin with, I guess we're switching out.
Do you want to start doing the pages all in pictures?
Okay.
So you want, I can do your mark. Yeah.
There was this thing.
I've never seen, bend your knees.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what great. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't know if my shoulders are.
Does it feel like it's in your face?
Good, yeah.
And my
I guess I just did you again.
So I'm basically doing this, but I'm using everything. You see that? But if you don't, obviously when you first start, don't go there. Yeah, it's not necessary. The other thing I should remember too. Okay, I do this. So I'm gonna do it in my hand. Is I'm just watching the way her leg right. Yeah, you see, I actually rotate this out. And I'm gonna hold her behind her neck. And I actually say, so you see how I'm very good. Just a reminder, really beautiful about she is very
Just how they behind your shoulders.
I can do this.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have leverage over your muscles? That's really nice. Okay, so. Yeah. For me, yeah, that one.
Oh my God, you can get so much, like I can get so much traction.
Yeah, because you're really giving her extension. And then, right, but there's like a nice. So actually, one day it would be fun. There's a whole way of doing this with those straps. It's pretty cool.
Oh, showed us, but
Yeah.
this is like, this way?
Oh, for your leg. Okay, like that.
You okay with this?
Yeah, that extent, you saw the extension that's happening on the back?
I did not.
Okay, relax. She's a little bit high in the top. So, it's more expensive what you did, but it's totally not okay to do that.
Sorry.
Agree. Okay. You need to give her that feeling.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
She might have been good. So what I.
No,
you can write it.
not really good, just more to get laid back. Yes, it wasn't going
So what I never do this because it's too much. It's just I'm on her hip. And then bring set the right leg. It is hard to do. And then just sit, and then come up to warrior one. I can use this to pull like that. And then step back into place your neck back with the plank. Lower down the shoulder. Inhale, upward hair. Exhale, downward. Inhale, step or jump your feet between the knees. That's my problem. Exhale. And this is not Shavasana, it is also the this is something that is really but if that felt good, I hope that come up, but that's really nice. So let's stick to what I've done already, and I'll come back and
Yeah.
But it's a lot of
On the left
yeah,
side.
and that's why with your
Standing
That's great. I don't think that's the first thing that you can do. Just squeeze and then pull out. So think about it, 7 infant. Does that feel like you're? Yeah, it's not good. Which one did you do? I like that. This is the. Yeah. Okay. Like idea. Because the door's good.
Which felt nice. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do take her for.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, really? I guess because of the work I was having. Yeah.
Turn down slightly.
Yeah.
Straight down.
Should I try?
Inhale, extend your spine. Exhale, look at your hips.
No, I wouldn't feel that.
Good.
I know.
This just wasn't easy.
Yeah. Or.
I would have just a little bit more space. You can see the whole thing and kind of understand how it's going. So, I love straight. And then track your knee over the yeah, so I'm gonna try and do some.
Well, you have to be more under. So you have to go low, down, yeah, and then like you're lifting me up, yeah, good.
It feels like it's beginning, but if you can make it on the other side of this, it's more like here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because once she understands really how to do it, she can say, even better.
Yeah.
Maybe step your feet back a little bit more.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay.
Yep.
You do more.
Yeah.
I like the sensation.
I do, yeah, I do that.
Yeah.
You do that. It's
Right, here we are. Yeah, hold it.
Oh, good.
But go to your one from that string.
That's a good one. Okay.
Which one?
This is the person that it seems to stop there. So she just wants to.
Yeah, that's okay. That's totally fine.
If you ground it back.
So, we can always say, get pull that. And it's probably going to be paper and then just.
Oh, wow, that was great.
That's a hard choice. Because the phone is getting screwed so bad. And I'm really squeezing. Sorry.
No, I mean, I'm not sorry.
That was nice.
And not back?
Yeah, I don't get a lot of
Can I go into the remember what to do?
So, you want to start to write it together? So, So 7 there, this, all of them here, the one at the front.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
So we can start with two and then now we'll start A and then we'll do one A and one B.
Let's give us some support for that right back. Slowly move out, connect with this side on that hip and come up. Guys, come on top and come up. I'm gonna do that for you and I'm gonna do it for you. The same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Come down like that and then.
Or maybe it'll be better to go around.
Or maybe like.
You might not.
Yeah, or.
So which one? You're doing the.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
Little higher when you're talking, so it's like heading, yes.
Okay, so bring that to the
And then R, right, and then maybe R.
Yeah. Bring that left toe face more 45. So you're like this, I'm like this. I want you to have both.
And great. Okay. Exhale.
Even more, I feel like.
And
Yeah, there you go.
there's this one which I like.
And you can use more pressure on
More
the
pressure.
sticker
I'm
part.
always like scared.
No, like, I feel like it'll, like, it actually does something. Yeah, that's way better.
Okay, great. And then right?
Fantastic.
Your hands are looking pretty grounded. And maybe my shoulders. This is the one I'm never sure what angle to come from, but I guess I could try.
Yeah.
And then come up.
Okay, cool. And I like doing that. It's hard to find the right place. Yeah, exactly.
I like just tapping it like that.
Yeah. Allison does that.
Yeah.
She like taps forward.
Yeah.
Lower now. You can come back to the front. Or let's just do Vera. Just do Vera one. Yeah, let's just go to Vera one your side.
She's already so nicely twisted.
Great.
Open her wide.
Oh, okay.
And then this back leg.
So on the foot, can I start?
Yes.
I've been pushing like more down. Yeah, not at my toe, though, like this part
This
here.
part, okay.
With your toe, though, with your toe, yes. So it's like pushing the skin like this down, like this.
Okay, got it.
Inhale to right.
I'm gonna do, let's just do both sides. And then I'll
Yes, I could do.
And then.
She did.
So, I think it was not, that was in the chicken also. Do you?
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, your hips are here.
Anything else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This way.
And let me practice
The shoulder and hip.
Yeah.
And it's gonna extend.
Yeah, it's
my
really
arm
covered.
as my head.
So it like really
So
grabs.
I'm her hip. And that's what's so hard to do.
Looking good. Try to bring your, yeah, exactly. Knee above ankle. That's
And
the
then you
tricky
feel
one.
that connection between your sit bones drawing towards each other. Yeah, the spiral.
Yeah. Great. You can go back and show her.
Back leg.
Do you want to try?
Nice.
Okay.
Bring your hands. How many of your but that's not what I'm doing. You can probably go lower that. You're also not yeah.
Inhale to arch to lower.
That's such a good. Let me do the other side of her and then I'll do it. It feels good. Well, because look at how, was getting out the way you would. The way that she's hanging out with her hips, right? She's slightly hyperextended. She's a nice, actually natural pelvis manipulation. But she's definitely off balance between her right and her left side. Yeah. And it looks like it's actually the best warrior one I ever had. Looking good. But it's not. I really think it's just, I think it's core. And there's a lot of, for me, as such an arch going back, and having to constantly like this kind of inwardly go up. You find it interesting when you come in here and feel together a little bit. But it's just finding that, I think it's helping so much. What is that part you're doing? Like, I'm taking this thing for you, and all I'm doing one way, stand away. I'm anchoring you down, so you can move in another direction. Where are the points? Stand away. And like when I come through, just make my classes all about me, like, hey, where do you want to set it? What is your job? Clear it out. It's never really more than that. So turn it and constantly. So let's begin your other side. You didn't do it, right? You owe you one extension or we did both sides? I think it's this way. No?
Yeah, you're right, this way. Right?
Well, we can just do it this way, and if you feel funny inside, we can always change. Yeah.
What is
So I feel when you start, you want to flip over, you want to open, you want to feel comfortable with and before you can reach, place the right hand on your hip, and left arm up. Feel that you're moving back, and the hip drop away.
So then,
Good. Press down to the part of the toe.
to help you forward.
Yeah, no.
Okay. Now lower down. Okay, lower down.
Because we get flat. Press down into the second toe of the right foot. Yes. Just lift the right arm.
Yeah, I think once you learn it, it's like really.
Yeah, so this right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this way I'm holding onto the side and moving is nice for people.
Yeah.
We're just there for her, being soft. I think when I first started doing adjustments, I kept pushing people over by mistake. And so I got to have that, like, I'm not going to allow it. Or like, I'm not pushing it, I'm just trying to hold balance, so it's good to actually. So let's do a seated square. We've had some questions about twists. So I was gonna do yeah. How does that? Yeah. Water break though. If you can, you should do a class, an open class at the grade 3 jewels, and you should take a class with your partner, and she can practice adjusting you in class. If you do that, do it with Allison's class or my class or any teacher that you're telling them first what you're going to do. But if you do that during my class, at least I can offer you that I will be there and I can come and say,
You're
help you out.
Tuesday night, right?
I'm Tuesday night, I'm also Saturday, but you guys aren't here, so. Yeah,
Well,
Tuesday.
next Saturday we're not here. So Monday, Tuesday, or Saturday.
Yeah.
Are Tuesday night before G?
Yeah.
So 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock on Tuesday and Saturday at 5. Yeah. So, and I think that, probably Henry, who teaches a Wednesday class, wouldn't mind either. So, but it's just to maintain the language that we started, you can come through. And then you should switch. It's a really fun thing to do. It's actually really nice because you get like this whole adjusted class, which is good. So I was speaking to about how in many ways, just to simplify things, one thing that's really good is when you see somebody in Warrior 2, you call it out, Warrior 2, that you don't go into adjusting right away. Really look and see what's happening before you go in, because actually if your physical body is too close, it's hard to get in. You kind of need to strategize, like, I'm gonna put my hand here and here and then move in. So one of the things that I saw a little bit happening with when we were first trying was we were moving into the final position too quickly. So I just want to give one example of that with my students. So go into a whatever position you want. All right. So what I was seeing was going into close. And what I would do, and actually it's just also just physical, is I see where I want to move her to. I really look and it's always this, the body first and then the outward. These are the secondary. But if I went like this first, I'm gonna knock her off. So the first thing I want to do always is anchor. So you gotta kind of practice knowing where's the anchor in this position. And with this one, I don't want to go in bent knee. I have to go, actually I have bent knees, but you don't want to be too close to her so you don't have a place to bring her. Like my legs are strong. This is a lot of pressure, but it feels good, to come out. So with spirals and twists, this is like what it's all about. Where is the anchor? So let's start with a seated spiral twist. I'd love it if you guys would tell me what this was in Sanskrit because I get so used to. Tell me? Matsyagrasana? Isn't that?
Yes.
Okay. Bend already. All right. So, I'm sorry, I just want to, okay, good. So the first thing again is I'm just going to look at her and see where she's at. And one of the most common things are all 5 toes of the right leg on the ground, is the right hip on the ground. And then anchor yourself, placing the right hand firmly, yes, gorgeous, lift the left side, and then twist over, looking over the right shoulder. So she's in this beautiful position already. Look, the spine is nicely rotated for the most part. Her nose is going with her pose. Where I feel I can help her is I feel I can help her lift up towards her leg this way. But that's not a good position. So again, I'm gonna use my legs. I'm gonna bend down, I'm gonna lift up, and there. How is that?
It feels totally different. Feels good.
The thing with, relax, the really important with twists and the same with back bending is you don't want to get to your final pose right away. So like adjuster, you don't want to move them as far as your strength can take you. You want to be breathing with them. And I can't emphasize that more with this pose because I think it's hard. There's a lot of, you're so close to your own body and your organs are all like moving around and it can be. Another thing you can do, let's see if I remember it, it's so much fun. Wait. Yeah, okay. This is like a 4th date. So, here. And it's basically, I'm helping her anchor down in this right hip. So the right hip and the shoulder, right? Relax, so you're not totally in it. Right hip and the shoulder are gonna wanna go into a C curve, which is when the spine is going like this. And so it's the same in the twisted forward bend, like wanna extend this hip away from the shoulder so that her spine is nice and straight. So that's a reasoning of helping this right hip to come down. And then we have the squeezing of the leg. I'm gonna perfect this because I don't think I've got it down. It feels good, but I think I could do a little bit better. the gist of it is let's just work on the one where you're placing, I'm using my leg to lift up from the middle back, right? And that's the first positioning I'm having. I'm still thinking about her right shoulder moving away from her hip, and I'm moving her here. And then maybe I would, help her with the head position. And I would really be thinking, breathe. I'm helping her to breathe into the back of her body. That's where your lungs are. Breathe into my leg, breathe in. Breathe out, press into the big toe. And then come around, gently de-rotate, place both hands on the outside. Can't emphasize being gentle. Let's do the other side because you're gonna feel wonky. Why don't you try? Oh, that's not your, but that's okay. So has anybody had adjustments done in this position? Yeah? Do you feel comfortable? Yeah, do you want to just go ahead and start trying with your partners? Yeah? Yeah, let's do it. So, okay, just do it. I'll do it. I'm very indecisive. All right, looking up at the right.
So why don't you all partner up and Miriam will do it with Jess and you can copy what you're
Yeah,
doing?
let's do your part.
That works.
Okay, I'm right on me.
Because Jess is my partner.
Oh, cool. See, I actually find this a challenging one. I feel like I'm going down a little bit.
So she does chin and the low back, so that the low back is nice and tall.
It's definitely.
Turn
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
But I think you're pushing up with your leg to get my like body up straight. More like in the center, I think, right here. Like,
I just don't want
Yeah.
to go into the middle.
oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, okay.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, make sure that all five toes are down.
Yeah.
I'll just want to do the other side of that.
Yeah.
It's easier
Yeah.
to see
Oh,
what's
any
going on.
inwards, you got to like, and then like.
You know how when you sit your legs
Yeah.
Right, so this leg from here is hard.
So I wrote out since the knee and wait, I'm not feeling yours.
Straight upward. So, can I interrupt y'all a little bit? Because we just discovered something. So for her, the one that I was saying, fourth gate, she actually really enjoyed that. So I should be confident and take the advice. And maybe I'll do it more in my classes. But because her lower back, she has shorter hamstrings, and when she's sitting down, she tends to be a little bit behind on her sit bones. So for me to ground her in her hips was really helpful, more than lifting her up. One more time?
Yeah. You should kind of lift it. Kind of have direct her to be more in the center.
You want me to join the chat?
Yeah, do that. Can you try with the right hand there and the other hand here? 'Cause
I'll start with two.
that one, the one where I'm sitting, yeah, there, that's how I usually do it.
Get my foot here.
Yeah.
If you want to put your hands back.
No, I felt like you know what I laughed a lot? Was you were just in like you were breathing and But do you feel comfortable? Because I felt very good.
Yeah.
The other side.
I feel a little more, you feel more fragile and defense and you don't. Like, I think
No,
you put your hands
there's
on
actually not that much room. I'm also moving into it very quickly, but.
You see what she's doing. You have to position your leg, so like this leg, that's right behind her.
Yeah.
Like you're making sure she's up and then, yes.
This is my open.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
And
That hollow.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Where you
yeah. How does that feel?
Like
You kind of like ground her
Do you
to
do it the
the.
other way?
Yeah.
Yeah, how that one?
Right there? Yeah.
About the head.
Just, with my foot or.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I'm balancing this too.
I almost like the hands better because the way that I was taught.
I feel like just close it.
Spiral. So let's say the left.
Yeah.
I want my left palm really to be going into the center and I'm lifting it
So now
up.
do it.
So I'm not lifting up, but I'm actually going to lift up on the right side. So it's not just this, it's actually
Oh, you like you guys will.
Yeah, that will be more.
I kind of, they both work in a twist, but if you keep experimenting with different parts, we'll see why, what, like, so, I think, you know, like, oh, I think like if I had maybe, I think, yeah, it's a big help, getting the staff, so they have it. Like, you can actually, this kind of, I don't know, that direction, but also I feel this foot, like if I can move
Yeah. Step on the foot.
I think you need, it depends on how big your body is. I mean, my legs it's like, I mean, for me, I want it first. I don't feel like I need it, but I definitely feel like. Yeah, it's just be more.
I look at this.
I don't even know how to clean this.
Yeah.
It's like a lot, because I'm pulling down. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, rocking it. So where are we at? I think we can do one more. I mean, we're kind of, be careful with that right shoulder. Yeah, no, her, just do that. Yeah. What shall I? These ones are really the basic, I mean, twists. I'm just thinking, we can do a back bending. A back bending. How is your body feeling? I mean, you've been like doing something all day long. Pretty tired. And you're tired. Okay. Let's do tabletop. No, because the extension that you can get in the lower back is really nice. And so it's good you guys can sit. We'll just do tabletop, and then I'll ask Allison what she would like me to offer you.
Maybe if you guys are up for it, she can show us some more cool versions.
Okay, so who has a tight lower back? We'll do it for you. We'll do it for you. So coming into tabletop, we're gonna do it with your feet close to you. Yeah, so fingers 6 inches away. Have your feet, for me, I usually do it a little bit further away, a little further than your sit bones. Press down into the feet, press up. Yeah, there you go. This is, I start right in her middle back, and I walk my fingers down till I feel her tailbone, and then I lift up. How is that? And then release.
So you're really supporting the pelvis. But
Yeah,
not
I'm
from
really,
the hip
it's
up.
like, I can't describe how I love this adjustment so much. It does, it really does, because I have so much tightness in my lower back. Basically, I'm pulling her lower back, I'm giving her traction.
You were pulling it toward.
Yeah, I was pulling it, so I'm walking my finger, I'm pulling it towards your tailbone, towards your knees.
Miriam, do you think this is a good way for people to build up to Urdhva Dhanurasana?
You know,
I'm just thinking of it right now. I never
yeah, the only reason why is the inward rotation of the arms.
To make it a little bit easier to push yourself up.
Yeah, but I think that the inward rotation is the opposite of what we're.
Yeah.
That was really nice, thank you.
Yeah, it feels good, right? Yeah. Oh wait, you know what? I'm gonna give us more love.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Malasana. I'm in the squat.
Were you pulling upper back or an ankle?
I'm pulling completely towards myself.
I really hate loss.
Okay. All right, let's get your feet a little bit pointed towards the altar, which really forget us. Okay. So I'm bringing her sit bones together.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm pulling her knees up. I'm really taking her knees and I'm pulling them up. I'm doing this for her because she said her lower back is hurting. Place your hands around. Lift your sit bones up towards the sky. Good. And then roll up to stand. It's like I'm weighting you down. We want to get your toes from this side to here. And yeah. But you knew that already.
Yeah.
Come. Definitely use this time to relax. Place your feet a little bit further. Okay, walk your hands back about 10 inches. Good. Press on the feet, lift the arms up. So I start middle back, so I'm not like just grabbing at her toes. And I come back and I walk and forward.
She's like pulling the fleshy part of her seat away from her low back, so there's
Yeah.
more space on the low back.
It's, yeah, right? Thank you.
And it's just like a lateral movement, it's not up.
Yeah, no up, it's really sliding back. Okay, move, widen your feet. And then scooch. Good. This can be a little bit harder to move into, but I'm basically going into second position in ballet. I'm using my calf to draw together. Grab her knees and I'm pulling them up. Lift your sternum away from your belly button.
Are you squeezing James' sit bones?
Yeah. How is that? Not so good.
Not bad, but I don't.
Okay.
I get
Go to
really
the position
sore
without me like
hairs.
being a hyena and getting in there.
I get really sore in here as well.
All right. Don't squat down, squat up. Press into the outsides of your feet.
Mula Bandha.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't say that in the beginning. Mula Bandha, babe. Yeah,
You
good.
can Mula Bandha in Malasana. You get.
Yeah, that's true.
Pastoriza Padasana.
Yeah. Okay, go forward then. Place the hands on. So the reason why this was not so good for her, and see, this is a good example, was eating noodle. Is for her, she doesn't have the deep crease in the hips. So for me to draw her sit bones together wasn't helpful. What she really needs to do is to come in a position where she is able to engage, which means her hips are higher. And so I was asking her to come down and up. I could probably still do I could probably do this adjustment with her hips higher. I just needed to make sure that I'm going back and forth. Back, and maybe not knees. Maybe what would be more helpful for you is just the lift of the chin. So, do you mind? I know you're a bit sore. Okay, Smarnica.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe what would be helpful is a little bit of support with the hips back and just this. How's that? So
It does feel nice and supported, it's just not life changing.
yeah.
You know, it's so. Well, you know, some of them are like, whoa.
Yeah. It's really important to not go into somebody without taking a moment. Because it's like, what's life changing for is not going to be the same. So just going to tabletop, and then Alright, so you can go almost, I'll do it, but I'm gonna just watch them first. So I want my fingers to move like that, so she knows that I am. Okay. And then
So in a row.
yeah.
I'm like all the way in.
Fully run.
Sort of stretching my back, so like.
Go down like that.
Yeah, but like maybe more closer to like.
I think you
here.
guys had that.
Yeah. And maybe like more toward you. So like, yeah, I'm holding myself in here, so it's like stretching my back.
Oh, and then we're doing that.
What?
Oh, you're nice and bright. Just like pushing the bones together and then lifting them. It's really helpful.
Yeah, same. Alright, so for you, or something parallel.
Like that.
Yeah. It's just like opposite than in doing like facing.
This always feels weird on my shoulder.
Parallel this way. So yeah, you kind of need like all your body weight.
That your body is a lot.
How it hurts in your body.
Just be careful. Yeah. Not over the fielder. Right. She doesn't like this stuff. Okay. She's so look at that nice deep bend in her hip crease. Yeah. I would just do, I think she's yeah. And I would tell her, you can squat up and down. Right. But her body is in the position. Right. It's like, it's so helpful for me to go through this because
Moonlight, engage, moonlight.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You love that. I love it.
So I start middle back, I kind of walk down to just like not going straight. I'm basically trying to. How's that?
Yeah. And a lot of you're also thinking like
Yeah. So I'm like trying to support, because essentially that's what I want to do when I come. So that's helpful, like in tabletop, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring my tailbone up. You know? So it's just like she's giving me assist. Okay,
This one's really good.
What did you guys do? Okay, that's fun. What did you all do with handstand?
We've been looking, so we can kind of
Everybody doing just for that, helping each other get into it.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So you do the one where you put the leg on the shoulder?
No, we did the dog. And then
She got a dog.
oh, wow.
And you just hold it. The dog had a fire more than that. The dog was driving. It's like, can you do with me?
Driving, gets in a car.
Yeah. Now I'm just imagining like this leg, every time is on my shoulder. Yeah. You didn't do this? No. Alright, and just lift the other leg up to me.
I just didn't have an L before.
It's not as much a problem, but it just
Great L. You have a strong L.
Yeah, you have a whole elbow right now.
Oh my goodness.
Now I know what L feels like. I did not know.
So I only get that, that's how I do.
The first few weeks.
Okay, so we're gonna do. Is there any poses that you wanna know?
That's when I have house with upper facing down. I
Okay.
feel like there's something.
Yeah, she thinks she needs like a low back.
And upper facing down.
Okay, upward facing dog. Anybody else? No.
I don't know, are there any issues you can do, I don't know, you have like shoulder stand or plow or any sort of hand? Yeah, we were talking about plow today.
Oh, that's a fun. I haven't done it for so long. You do it with me. I know you're tired.
I'm so bad at this. So that's good. Let's do it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Contributing.
Finally do it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
where are you going? You're gonna do handstand?
Plow.
Where are you going?
Wait, what?
We're gonna do shoulder stand. And then we're gonna do
I thought,
pull-ups.
oh, God, I thought crow. Okay, I was gonna do
You want
this.
to crow?
Oh, I know about
Oops, what did you
All right, everybody, take a moment. I'm like spinning around. So
Okay.
we're not gonna do bakasana because I feel like we need to warm up the shoulders a little bit for that.
I think we're too tired for book.
We're too tired about that. We're gonna do shoulder stand.
Okay.
So that's when you're lying down.
Yeah.
From here or from?
Come into shoulder stand the way that you understand how to come into it.
Okay.
This is actually a really helpful adjust. It does take your language because people feel very disoriented when they're down, when they're downstairs, when they're upstairs, when they're upside down.
Super.
I've been going for a long time. So what's gonna support her is bringing her elbows closer together. So this is I wouldn't do this with somebody I don't know. Open up your legs, bend your knees. Allow me to hook my elbows under here. You relax. I'm gonna raise her. So this is how most people feel, like that. I also, because of the way her body is, and we're in a good relationship, I can hold on to her lower back. Go ahead, extend your legs.
That
and
feels
bring it
amazing.
together. So what is really nice is if when you're in the right posture for shoulder stand, it's actually really kind of magical because everything is stacked on top. Flex your toes. Good.
That's amazing. I love that. I remember Michael did that once. Michael's good.
Relax. Come on, girl. You're working too hard.
It's like
And then coming into, so do you feel the difference of that in your butt?
Yes.
It's like a horse with another.
Yeah.
Flexing your toes, come into halasana. Very nice. Once you're in this position, if you're able to touch the toes to the ground, then you can interlace the hands behind you. Extend the arms, try to get the back of the pinky fingers onto the ground.
Okay.
So this one is nice. Extend the legs. Flex your toes, so your toes are here. I'm just gonna pick her up from her hips.
Should I help you or just?
No, you're staying there. I'm just giving you a little bit of a, what I could also do is do this a little bit.
What do you have, your knee and her?
I'm not even like in it. I'm just kind of like hold balance.
Contact.
Yeah, I'm just contacting it there. And then there's the other one which I'm forgetting how to do. Woo! Pulling back. This is awesome.
That's really cool.
So I'm doing,
Yeah,
is this way?
hold on to her wrist.
See, you do it. I'm not
That's what I did
remembering
for
it.
Janine earlier.
I haven't done it for a while. See?
Thank you. So you can look at her shoulders and I can see one of them is way more forward than the other.
Yeah, I have big shoulders.
It looks
If
like,
I get close
whoa.
enough, I can do this also. And then her feet are a little to her
Yeah.
right. She has to walk to the left.
I know, I'm not straight.
Yeah.
Always.
Cool.
Now it feels to me like I'm on my
Now it
right
feels like you're
side.
crooked, right?
Yeah.
But you're absolutely straight now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here, so do that one again. Push a little bit there, yeah, and then
Oh my God, wow. So like,
all right, so now. All right, so I'm gonna go through that again, and we'll use the other body. Who's feeling totally?
Is your neck okay?
I can do it. You do it.
Do fish pose now, so you open up the front of your.
So I have, my neck is like not curling up. What is that? The flexion. The flexion in my neck is not very even. I got whiplash, and so it's kind of coming in, and I don't have a bend where I should. So when I do, I really benefit from doing shoulder stand with blankets. Because I'm gonna show them first the two different versions. So if you have a chance, this is like, a lot of people have neck problems, so it's good to have some of this knowledge. So if you notice when I come up without the blankets, I have this very kind of sharp angle of my neck. It's bending, forward, my chin is coming forward. That's one version. So when I put the blankets, I saw someone do this wrong the other day, and it was like, what they did was they put their head, it happens all the time, they put their head on the blanket, so it's even sharper of an angle when you come up.
Oh, yeah.
So that, and so if you spot that, it's uncomfortable to tell people not to do things. I actually really hate it. I wish they wouldn't do that, but you have to do it because they'll really hurt themselves. So if they are going to use a prop, because I've seen it in other places, the shoulder is in line, and that's where I think you could have benefited. The shoulder is in line with the mats, and it gives me an angle. I'm falling off. So I'm not at such a sharp. Do you see that in the neck? Much better for me. Okay. So, on Tuesday when you come, I'm gonna set people up for their shoulder stand that way. And I have to be honest, I've been a little lazy with telling people to use the blankets, because I think most people do have some sort of neck or shoulder stuff. So you're gonna come in, you're gonna try it out. I'm gonna give you one, might be too much. So set yourself up for a shoulder stand. Everybody get a blanket and do that for yourself. So bring your, yes, pretty good. Nice. Good. So the adjust that I did with her, I actually don't need to have the legs open. That's a little bit easier for me to make the adjustment. I can also grab her by her ankles and just tuck my legs in. So I'm lifting her up, and I'm trying to draw it so that her shoulders are more really right underneath her.
The
Good.
knees bent is good if someone's a lot taller than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Natasha,
Nice.
you can try that next time.
Good. And then flexing the toes, and this is really good to make the blood down. And come into Halasana. Stop pose. So if I remember correctly, you did. Look at your toes touching the ground. Yeah, look at that. Whoop, that wasn't always there.
No.
I know, I'm so impressed. Flex your toes. So I'm just supporting her by drawing her legs up. I'm just like getting underneath her thighs, and I'm just drawing them up. And then kind of draw. It's a similar adjust that I would do for Paschimottanasana, actually. And then, geez. And then slowly come down. right, so here we are practicing. If you want, if you need me to do this with you, I don't mind going around the room, I'll help you all. So,
Yes.
here you are. So long. Nice. Okay, so your right shoulder is a little bit more tight, which makes sense because you're probably right-handed. Alright, so, and then for you, I might just hold it here.
Is it going to?
Because I feel if I let go, you're gonna move out.
Yeah.
What?
Pulling them up.
Okay,
Yeah, but you feel much less
More
pressure
the ankles.
in the holding, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you holding yourself now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I got it. Now remember what your magic thing was. I put my foot here, and then I push back.
Oh, do you want to do the other one?
Sure, yeah.
If you wish. Do you want to do good?
Okay.
Really good. Nice.
So maybe one of the
I think
Go deeper into it.
Ready? Come down slowly.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna have you connect to somebody else to do it, because I actually can't do shoulders.
I'm like,
I got your head. So I was thinking there's one way, I said, I push back, there's this, and that's just gonna open up her shoulders, right? And then I might even say to her, you know, draw the chin away from your chest a little bit, make sure there's room in your throat, and then I.
Not feeling it, let's just kind of do.
So where you're pulling here, you're pulling back
Now,
towards you.
I think we can do it in two, let's ask her. If I go like this, and here, how is that?
That feels good. What did you do right before that? That's
Yeah, that's what everybody's like. It's the opening of the shoulder, I'm here, and I pull back, I'm pulling the shoulder back, you see that?
Yeah, that feels
Here from the shoulder
Yeah.
room. And then if.
And then you're pulling the thighs up. Up
Yeah,
and back or just up?
no, just up. Up and back, towards me, I don't think so. Let me down. Yeah, just up. But I find this is like a lot for the adjuster. I think it's kind of, you get a lot of bang for your buck just drawing the shoulders back and away from the ears.
So when I first did it, it was really one shoulder, because I can't tell, but I know that I'm like one side is like not even.
Mhm.
But was it really that one shoulder is completely?
It's actually not just the shoulders, it's spine.
So my
Yeah.
spine is not so straight.
Well, I mean, look at mine, I'm
Yeah.
probably like a typewriter right now, I really need to go to the chiropractor. Look, it's one side is flat and the other one is indented.
Yeah,
And for me, it comes from actually a twist in my hip.
yeah, I think I have some of
It's like once you get in there, you're just like, where does it start? So, we have 6 minutes left. Let's get onto our, once you're done doing what you're doing, come onto your mats. So you guys did restorative Friday? This year?
Yesterday.
Oh, that must have been really nice.
Yeah.
And Sierra has like all these sweets, like she's so straight and clear and knowledgeable.
We meet so many great teachers.
I know, and it's like, not only is she great and sweet and knowledgeable, but she's like growing in front of her eyes. So we have only a few more minutes left. I would like you to, we'll do like a short meditation to end what I've done with you and what I know what to do. We'll figure out a time. Allison has my contacts. You know how to reach me. You guys see me around all the time, so I'm accessible to you.
Thank you.
You can make me come on. Twist my arm. Yeah, but let's just end our day in a short rejoicing practice. So I want to share with you my version of rejoicing that I've been practicing. Is not just rejoicing in the goodness that you have done and the capacity, and we will do this, we'll go through like thinking about like feeling the pain and then finding that there might be a way out of the pain. Yeah, right? That there is a path out, and then deciding to research those details and then pass that on to another being is kind of like the most beautiful thing you can do. So I bow to you, and we will rejoice in that. But I also want to invite you to rejoice not only in this mind that you've developed, but also in your maintaining as a teacher the viewpoint for your students that you believe that they can do it. It's placing in the mind that you have that believes that there's a way out, and you believe that other people can make it there. No matter how like shattered they might feel, like that's this incredible, infinite, motherly, ultimate love, is to be able to look at someone else and be like, I look at you and I know you can do it. That like maintaining that faith that there is a path out no matter where you are. And that's something to rejoice in. So it's kind of looking at not just the goodness that you've done, but the goodness that you are able to see in others is such a gift. Because I need that. And we need that as a group. That's what makes us a strong Sangha or a strong community, is that I can turn to you and say, I am freaking out and I don't think I can handle this yoga program, and there's no way that I can stuff this information in my head. And then she says, we can do it. And I say, thank you for saying that. You know, like we need each other. And so we're gonna get to rejoice in all of this. Someone has a clock with an alarm and you're gonna set it for me. Thank you.
What would you like?
5 minutes. Yeah, just make it short and sweet, get to the point.
Okay, well,
All right, so drop into the center of your body. Let go of your name. Let go of your titles of girlfriend, wife, sister, brother. And move straight into the space in the middle of your body. A space where wisdom and love live. And in that space, there is a center. And move into the center of that space where wisdom and love live. And then move into the center of that space. And you will find wisdom and love there. And let the mind soak into that space. Feel your own love. Feel your wish to be rid of suffering. And then think about all the actions that you've done this week that you can remember at all that have in some way added to the freedom, added to love and wisdom, and removed the suffering. The suffering that you feel, the suffering of others. And see if you can bring up the vision of your community around you, your friends and family. And just rejoice in your own capacity to see the best in them. To look at them with the eyes of that divine love and that divine wisdom. To be that pillar of no doubt when they are doubting. That there is a path out of this suffering life. And rejoice in that. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. And allow your mind to just dance through memories of things that have brought you and others happiness. And rejoice in that. And allow your mind to just pick one thing that's your favorite action, the most powerful action that you've done that you really feel is emotionally charged. And let that action just carousel in your mind and your heart. You're just throwing mental offerings to it, glitter and flowers and love. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Feel the spine nice and tall. The corners of your lips moving towards your eyes. Bring your chin slightly down and bring the palms together in front of your heart. And we will end with a ah together. And it's a way for us to connect. So deeply breathe in. Thank you for your time. So nice to share everything with you. Rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. You guys are doing amazing work. If you don't feel it now, rejoice right at you.
Thanks, Miriam.
Thank you, Miriam.
Let's come back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You're not supposed to say that.